making a dark fantasy typing game where you type to move and attack and interact with things. So last devlog, I had a lot of great suggestions in the comments and implemented some of them. Seems like a lot of people wanted options for auto-completing commands, and also there were suggestions to make this an upgrade. So I made an upgrade system. Basically, you find these upgrade interactables hidden in levels, and you can choose to increase your max health, get more ammo from ammo pickups, or improve auto-completing on your attack or move commands. I was originally thinking to make the autocomplete upgrades make so one extra letter gets auto-completed per upgrade when you type the first letter of a command. So one move upgrade would make so typing M also adds an O, and then you just have to type V and E to finish typing in the whole command. And then 2 upgrades would make it type MOV all at once. But this didn't feel strong enough compared to the health and ammo upgrades, so I made it add 2 extra letters per upgrade. So now 1 upgrade makes so you hitting M auto types MOV, and 2 upgrades will do the full move command plus a space. Now you only need 2 upgrades to max out move autocomplete and 3 to max out attack, making it more comparable to the non-autocomplete upgrades. Another little gameplay improvement I did was to make so the player will back up if told to move in a direction somewhere behind them. This makes it so the player doesn't have to spend as much time turning around to move, and therefore has better mobility. It also looks cool and kind of disturbing, which I like. I also made multiple choice dialogue options, which are cool for story and NPC interactions, and I also made so some enemies will have dialogue, and if you type their dialogue in, it will stun them for a short time. I added a couple new areas to the game, the Barrens, which is this sandy dead area with abandoned worn down buildings, and then also a decayed industrial area with lots of rust and worn out concrete. I made new themes for the existing enemies, like in the Barrens area, enemies are night themed with armor and weapons and have more health, and in the industrial area they're all broken apart and decayed but move faster. I also made some new enemies. The first is this charger enemy that gets introduced in the Barrens area. It's got racing starting lights at the top that act as a timer indicating when it's going to charge. So you want to wait until the last light to dodge out of the way, or you can hit it mid-charge to stun it. It also does friendly fire damage, so you can get it to charge you and then move out of the way so it hits an enemy behind you. The next enemy I call the Angler, which appears in the industrial area. It's invulnerable and has this shield in front of it that you have to hit to make it vulnerable, but it has a different attack in this state that does more damage. Then in the industrial area, I made this tower that makes your input be entered backwards. That means you have to enter coordinates and commands backwards to get the correct result, and this was inspired by a comment suggesting an enemy that flips your input. The final new enemy is the Hacker. This was inspired by comments suggesting an enemy that makes you type random garbage input. I made a floating head thing that casts a spell, zapping you and making you type a random letter, but otherwise it does no damage and dies in one hit, making it more of a support unit for the enemies. Beyond that, I made a couple boss fights. The Gardens area has this 4-armed knight that stabs in a specific pattern, requiring you to time your movements with its attacks to avoid taking damage. It's also invulnerable, and you have to type what it says to expose its weak point so you can damage it. Then for the Barrens, I made this boss that's more of a normal enemy. It alternates between chasing you with a hammer, trying to hit you, and summoning hacker enemies to mess up your input. But it also has the added challenge of randomly mirroring your input on the X or Y axis, making it harder to read your inputs and get them correct. So yeah, the game's content is coming along well, and I'm close to finishing the game, hoping to release by the end of January. Also in other news, I brought on an intern, Peter, who's doing music for this game, and he'll also be doing other general work on my games in the future. And that's it for this devlog. Go wishlist Camelot 10,000 CE, coming soon to Steam and itch.